You know what they say, it's not a Gunpla news episode unless something new is announced 5 minutes after I upload the video. Welcome to Channel 2S, I'm your host Second Soundwave, and it's time for some more Gunpla news. So the new Gunpla Next Phase project had a few interesting kits in it, but the absolute star of the show, at least for me and probably for many other people, is the Master Grade GUNDAM F91 2.0. I love everything about this kit, or I should say almost everything about this kit, because there's one little feature that I'm not sure about that I'm going to get into later. But right off the bat, just looking at this kit visually, it looks beautiful. There are areas underneath the chest armor and in the thrusters on the back that are molded, and it looks like plated with gold, kind of like the HGUC 2.0, so it's going to have that really nice gold matte finish, very similar also to what they did with the Double Zeta Verka. It looks like there's also another chest option where the part underneath the chest is clear blue, and then you can put an LED unit inside. That's this new kind of LED unit that they've introduced with the Star Wars kits, and it'll light up his chest and back. I'm really excited to see this on the kit. I was not expecting it at all, because the F91 being like what, a 14-15 meter mobile suit, is pretty much the last Master Grade I would ever expect to have a light up gimmick. It looks like there's a couple different configuration options for the back cannons. You can either flip out this little white handle or extend the whole thing out forward in a very similar way to the Freedom 2.0's shoulder cannons. So that one feature that I wasn't so sure about on this kit that I mentioned earlier is the face mask. This kit is going to have the same kind of gimmick that the F91's always had, where there's like a weird face underneath the faceplate. Except this time it seems like they've kind of overcomplicated the mechanism for it. Now Bandai did prove with the Real Grade Unicorn that they're able to do some amazing things with transforming kits now, but I'm still not too sure about this one. My concern here with the head design is that when the faceplate is out over the face, I'm worried that there might be a little bit of a gap between the two pieces. On these concept images they're showing us, it doesn't look like there's any split in the faceplate at all, because of course this is a CG render and they can do all sorts of computer magic with it. Okay, so I found some pictures of an actual physical prototype of the F91 2.0, and there is definitely a split in the faceplate. Fortunately, it's looking a lot more natural than I feared it might. Paired up with the Master Grade F91 2.0 is the Reborn 100 Vigna Ghina. This is our first time seeing it in color, and it looks beautiful. I love this kit from the moment they announced it. Before they even showed the prototype for it, I was ready, and I'm still ready for it now. Interestingly, it looks like they're including two different options for the chest. One has more flat angles, and the other one is more smoothed over and dome-like. It's a nice option, but I don't really get why it's there. Next, we have the high-grade Universal Sentry GALBALDYB, another confirmed prototype from the Gunpla Next Phase project. I'm really happy to see this one get made. It's not one of my favorite grunt suits from Zeta, but it is still a really interesting looking design. I'm really impressed that they managed to work in the beam saber storage in her shoulder. That is not something I would have expected to see in the high grade. We did get one new announcement, and that is the Master Grade Jinx 3, and yeah, it's P Bandai. I mean, really, what would you expect? Looks pretty cool, probably gonna get one, and that's all I have to say about that. So now it's time to talk about SD Gundam Cross Silhouette. But wait, don't go anywhere. Stick around even if you're not as big a fan of SD kits, because there's actually some really interesting stuff to see in this line. Look at the part separation. You can see an exploded view of the RX-78 right now, and the detail on this is amazing. Like, look at that gray piece in the middle of the head. This guy's gonna have gray Vulcans and gray bits inside the vents. That is not something that I would have ever thought I'd see on an SD kit. The eyes are molded fully in color like the 100 IBO kits. The color separation on this is really impressive, and if they keep that up for the rest of the line, I will definitely find myself buying at least a couple of these. We also have more information on how the frames on these kits are gonna work. So each kit is gonna come with a little chibi frame, like the little basic one, and then there's gonna be a deluxe version of the RX-78 that comes with both the chibi frame, or the chibi frame, and the less chibi frame. The bigger frame gives the kit more articulation and more NX style or MS Saga proportions. It's worth noting that all the kits in the line except for the deluxe version of the RX-78 are going to only come with a chibi frame. If you want to get the taller frame for any of the other kits, you're going to have to get the frame separately. It comes with an unpainted GM head, and you just take that frame, you stick it in the Gundam, and you're good to go. Between the impressive color separation and the different frame options, I'm already really excited for these kits. But then they went ahead and put together a pretty awesome roster. So we've already seen some of these, the Nightingale, the Crossbone X1 with some very nice beam effects. But then the Next Phase project, they showed off some more prototypes for even more kits that are coming out later in this line, like the Zeta Gundam, and the Zeta Gundam is my favorite one I've seen. The detail on this looks amazing. I love the proportions. The styling of it looks fantastic. This one's going to be a must-buy for me. And now that I'm looking really closely at the V-fin, I think I see a hinge on it. You may very well be looking at a transforming Zeta SD. The Freedom Gundam was also shown off. Now this one is one of those concept prototypes, unfortunately, so we don't really have any way of knowing if this is actually going to come out. But seeing as it's the Freedom Gundam and it's like Bandai's 4th favorite Gundam ever, they're probably going to make it. Alright, now this is the Ifrit. This is probably my 2nd favorite one they've shown. Unfortunately, this is another one of those concept things where they haven't confirmed it yet, but I'm really hoping they do, because this is not just any Ifrit. This is just the standard mass production Ifrit, or what would have been the mass production Ifrit if the Ifrit was mass produced. It's a really great looking suit, and I'm so excited and hoping that we finally get one. If this kit comes out, I'm going to be getting it for sure. Then we have the Zaku 2, which has been confirmed for a July release. It's a Zaku, not really much else to say. And that's all we know right now about the SD Gundam Cross Silhouette line. But even that is enough to get me excited. This line looks like they took everything that people didn't like about SDX Standard, threw it out the window, and started from scratch. The kits are complicated, they're detailed, they have features that make sense, and the roster's more than just A-list lead Gundams. I never thought I'd be this hyped for an SD Gundam line, but here we are, and I am very ready. That's gonna do it for tonight, guys. Thanks for watching Gunpla News. I'm your host, Second Soundwave. If you're new to Channel 2S, I do all sorts of Gunpla News reviews and things like that, so if you like that sort of thing, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and as always, I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.